Hi, I'm Jill Sanwright Calendar, the author of the Happy Little Garbage Truck picture book and educational program, Teacher's Guide for literacy skills, as well as, can I get it out? It's early in the morning for me, for literacy skills and for social skills. However, on the horizon is a workbook for teachers using the Happy Little Garbage Truck picture book as its a way to introduce lessons to the students, as is the Teacher's Guide for Literacy Skills and Social Skills. But I'm putting together, as we speak, a social skills only guide for teachers with some really good background information in it regarding to how do you create an environment, what types of ways to prepare to teach students who have different levels of ability, and I go into the multimodality skills that are needed, or to be for the teachers to be aware of, and a couple of other things. It's still being formulated, but a lot of these conversations has actually put me to task of had already written the book pre-pandemic, but this is another edition which will take into some of the conversations that we're having today, as well as this whole series, because there has been, as I mentioned before, some effects of the furloughs on students, and it was not positive, but we're going to talk about how can we use this information to bring about a positive outcome in the students that we're working with today. So first of all, I mentioned last time one of the studies that, this came about by a friend telling me that many teachers that she ran into, working with them on another level, mentioned that they had dysregulated children. And the articles that she shared with me, I saw that this went back pre-pandemic. And as a classroom teacher, I too had children who were dysregulated, but I thought it was, pretty much in my field, because I've been a special ed teacher for 27 plus years, also a program specialist and a teacher consultant. So, I was working in a field that I anticipated, children would have difficulty expressing themselves, which usually brought about that dysregulation. But she said that these were children in gen ed classes. So this one article that I read and I shared last time talked about children with anxious solitude. And when they were put in a position of the lockdown, these children tended to become depressed, as opposed to those who did not show that anxious solitude, or when they are, it's like an expression of how a child sees themselves in a situation, whereas those who are more gregarious or had more social skills saw themselves as able to interact with their peers. The anxious solitude child pretty much was the child who stayed to themselves. But the effect of the furlough caused them to go into more into depression. Well, the study that I said that I was going to look at this time, because that study was only 388 children. This one took 6,000 parents in Great Britain, and the study looked at them a year after the COVID period. I believe it was in 1922. It actually was just during that time, but I don't have a date as of when this study was taken, but it's in the description box. But I was looking at this as just what happened and what age group was affected. And they said that half of the children, the article was published in 2023, half of the children suffered a setback to their emotional and social development during the first year of the pandemic. So that's the study that they were looking at. That was the group and the time that they were looking at of 6,000 parents. And they said that ages 4 to 7 were significantly impacted as opposed to the 12 to 15-year-olds. So they said that what impacted them most was they were in that unfamiliar, dysregulated environment that I spoke about, and they were mostly impacted by their parents losing their jobs or having their jobs affected and possibly being at home during that time. So, and I'm going to give you a little warning. This is going to go a little longer than I usually do my segments. So I might just stop midstream and then go pick it up again. But I'd like to just go straight through, and I know that your time is valuable too. So I'm kind of like at my 5-minute mark. So we're going to pick up when I come back, and it's going to be a two-parter. This is part 4, and then part 5 will follow. Okay, thank you so much, and we're going to look at this in depth, I promise. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.